What an incredible finish to the second game. Quetta, Peshawar just put on an absolute classic, and we'll get into that. Earlier today, Lahore suffered their first loss in this year's PSL with Multan Sultans registering a win against them, finally getting off the mark. And in the second game, the Peshawar Zalmi phenomenally chased down a score of 198. They got to 199 with 3 balls to spare. I beg your pardon. It was a very thrilling finish, probably the most exciting game of the tournament so far. A lot to break down, but the first thing I'm going to say is the NSK curse, the National Stadium of Karachi curse, is alive and well. 8 matches played, 8 times the team chasing has successfully chased down the total. It's phenomenal. What a day it was. Before we get into the moments of the day, what a day of cricket, Anam. That was really exciting.
भाई पहले मैच और दूसरे मैच में जमीन आसमान का फर्क है. पहला मैच स्नूज फेस्ट था, यू न्यू के क्या होना है इस मैच में. सेकंड मैच वाज अ रोलर कोस्टर राइड. टुक टुक टुक. अब मतलब हार्ट बीट्स ऊपर जा रही है, नीचे आ रही है. और मैं अकेले मैच देख रही थी, मेरे घर वाले सो गए हुए थे और मुझे था कि यार मतलब ना शोर ज्यादा मचा सकती हूँ ना कुछ कर सकती हूँ, बट माय हार्ट वाज लाइक टुक 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 टुक. एंड बीइंग अ क्वेटा फैन, मुझे बस था कि ठीक है, अब वो 20 तो जो पड़ गई, लेकिन हसनैन जो है वो आखिरी ओवर में जो आउट 2 कर लिए थे पहली बॉल पे, कहीं ना कहीं I was hoping for a super over, to be honest. I wanted more. Yeah, I wanted more of it, and I was hoping for a super over.
The tweet said you were team super over.
Yeah. I wanted
but like,
more drama.
Chalo, I mean, we still got a very dramatic finish. It's past midnight in Pakistan right now. It's coming up to midnight now. It's very late. A long game, the second one. What did you make? Did you think it was a day of 2 different games? I thought they were both entertaining, but it might just be because I play fantasy cricket. You tell me.
Yeah, I think the key thing with Lahore Qalandars is that they're very heavily reliant on Hafiz. The Hafiz Qalandars, unfortunately, if Hafiz gets run out like he did today or doesn't take, it's very hard to see them posting a very big total with the bat. So once that he was gone, I think that game had basically left the Qalandars, and I didn't really see a way back in for them. And to be honest, the second innings of that game with Multan chasing, it was basically a formality. There was absolutely no doubt that they were going to win. So in that sort of respect, it did become a one-sided game. And I think like that's more worrying sort of for Lahore. But that second game really made up for it. And in terms of excitement, in terms of your adrenaline rush, in terms of just I mean, I didn't think Quetta Gladiators could lose from the position they found themselves in. At one point, Peshawar Zalmi needed 12 and over, and they had lost Haider Ali, who was looking extremely good today. For them to lose that game is amazing for the neutral. I'm a neutral as a Karachi supporter. Cricket wins and Pakistani cricket wins.
Absolutely. I mean, there were some cool moments in that first game as well. Obviously the second game is infinitely more exciting. But as you said, Hafiz again putting runs on the board, one of the more consistent players. But on his opposite number, Rizwan, again looking very good. So this is it. It's those consistent players always coming to the fore. But that first game, you have Yorker to start the game from Shaheen Afridi. That was electric. The way he knocked over those stumps of Chris Lynn, that was mind-blowing on him. Come on.
मुझे लगता है शाहीन को ये उसका कोई आदत है, वो पहले ओवर में 1 विकेट तो लेनी है. और क्रिस लिन बेचारा बाद में उसके ऊपर कैमरा गया था जब वो आउट होके बैठा हुआ था ड्रेसिंग रूम में. ही वाज लाइक, आई थिंक वो उसको खुद भी नहीं समझ आई कि उसके साथ क्या हुआ है, शाहीन ने किया क्या. ही कंप्लीटली मिस्ड आउट ऑन द यॉर्कर. वो वाज बैंग ऑन, लाइक शाहीन का वो ट्रेडमार्क है वो बॉल.
I got a lot of stick, Armaan, online because I suggested that Shaheen has to be considered one of the best bowlers, if not the best all formats bowler in the world based on his performance over the last 12 months, right? But everybody came at me, Pat Cummins is much better. Jasprit Bumrah's played for longer. He's not his test record. He's averaging 32 or whatever it is with the ball. But overall, I think, statistics can sometimes not tell the full story, surely, Armaan. What do you think?
Well, Shaheen is a phenomenal talent. I'm actually extremely worried that he's being overbowled. He's played in all of the tests that I can remember in the recent past. He's played in the ODIs as well. He's also played in the T20s, South Africa, New Zealand. So I am a little bit nervous. Personally, I'd rather keep him in tinfoil. If the rest of the world doesn't want to rate him, that's pretty standard for us as Pakistani supporters. You'll know his name by the World Cup. Don't worry about it. He is one of the leading talents in world cricket. Look at his age and compare that to Pat Cummins in terms of their equivalents. and in terms of the opportunities that they've had, in terms of the facilities. And look, he is coming back to playing at home for the first time. But this banda has not even played properly. And you can talk about his test average. बंदे ने अपने घर पे खेला ही नहीं है अभी तक. अभी तो पहली सीरीज खेली है इस बंदे ने. तो 22 साल की उम्र है. अब इंशाल्लाह जब 22-23 के
20
मैंने ऑलरेडी अफरीदी में उसको 2 बढ़ा दिए, लेकिन द पॉइंट आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक इज ये इतने यंग हमारे प्लेयर्स हैं, आप कहां से मुझे ला रहे हो पैट कमिंस? यार सुनते रहो लोगों की बातें. डोंट वरी, यू वोंट गेट स्टिक फ्रॉम मी ब्रदर, आई एम ऑन योर साइड.
I appreciate it. I remember speaking to Shaheen Afridi last summer when they were in England, and he told me like his inspiration, you'll never guess this, is his brother, his older brother, Riaz Afridi. He also played
Afridi, of course,
for Pakistan, and he still thinks his brother is a better bowler than he is. I think over time that opinion might change.
एक बार ये बोलता हूं ना, बुलाओ ना पैट कमिंस को, उनसे बोलो आके कराची की विकेटों और लाहौर की विकेटों पे और मुल्तान की विकेटों पे आके बॉलिंग करें, फिर हम रिकॉर्ड्स कंपेयर करेंगे. ऐसे नहीं होती बात.
Yes, absolutely. I reckon Shaheen would do well in Ahmedabad, but let's not talk about that. Acha, let's get on to moments of the day, and then let's talk about that second match in a lot of detail because there's a lot to break down. So first of all, Anam, what was your moment of the day?
My moment of the day was Stein ने जब उसको मारा, इमाम को बाउंसर मारा, उसके हेलमेट पे लगा. उसके बाद it was called a no ball, free hit, ugly ball wide, and then Imam had the audacity to hit him for a 6. Like, yeah, that was my moment of the day. Imam के साथ मेरे वो है मसाइल कि भाई वो तेज नहीं खेलता ये वो, but that shot was top notch.
Absolutely, showed a lot of heart there, didn't he, Imam? He had a pretty good little.
Takes a lot of guts, man.
Yeah, उसने platform भी बना. लोग कहते हैं slow खेलता है with sixes, but that platform was very useful when they were chasing. Great moment. Armaan, what was your moment of the day?
यार मेरी जो favorite moment आज थी ना, वो एक छोटा moment था at the beginning of the chase. Basically, after the last game, Sarfraz got a lot of stick for the way that he behaved, and he really, held the field, held the ball, went to his bowler, talked to him, made a plan, put the fielder out, and got that wicket, and then he celebrated together with the bowler. मैंने पिछले मैच में भी आपसे यही कहा था कि at the end of the day, I don't feel Sarfraz is getting his due respect. Frankly, I know some people didn't enjoy his behavior in the last game, but for me, I think we need to give him a lot more respect. He ended up on the wrong side of the result today, but he was really good and probably the best captain trying to defend a total so far in this tournament today. We could see some good plans. I do disagree that he didn't use the spinners as effectively as I think he should have, considering he had Mohammad Nawaz he only gave him 2 overs. So ठीक है, वो मैं इख्तिलाफ करता हूँ उस decision से. लेकिन that moment of planning and the fact that he's a senior experienced, like he's been Quetta Gladiators captain through every single season, and the fact that because Rizwan is the new boy in town and he's doing extremely well. Don't forget Sarfaraz batted extremely well today, and in my personal opinion, Sarfaraz is actually making a case to play into the Pakistan team solely on the basis of his batting. Now that probably won't happen, and I'm not trying to suggest that that's a very likely thing, but the fact is he's being consistent as well.
Yeah. So wait, hold that thought. We'll definitely come and talk about that a little bit more because there's a lot to talk about Sarfraz in general. We've had a fantastic innings today, as you say, for sure. I'll just chuck my moment in there, and then we'll get into that second game. My moment was very nice. It was one of the Hamare Hero segments, and it's funny because it's a cat and mouse game with me. Sometimes I really like them. Sometimes they annoy the crap out of me when they turn up at the wrong time. So I love the segment with Nazo Shakur, the 7 times national table tennis champion of Pakistan. That was really beautiful. She got to celebrate about her family and this incredible lineage. I absolutely loved it. Now, I got to bring this up very quickly. We will talk about the cricket, I promise. I love Myra Khan. I'm a huge fan of Myra Khan. She is a fantastic talent, one of the best actresses we produced, a great diplomat, a great ambassador for Pakistan. I don't want to hear from Myra Khan when the game is on a knife edge, when either team can do it, when there's tension, when I can't sit down on my sofa because I don't know which team's going to win. And I'm a neutral fan. I found it unbelievably annoying when it was there. Now, this is no disrespect to Myra Khan, obviously, or Zainab Abbas, or any of the people that were involved in that segment. I disagree with the person who made the editorial decision to interrupt one of the more important phases of the game for this puff promo thing. It was very, very irritating. Just tell me in a sentence, do you agree or disagree, Anam?
I absolutely agree with you. वो बहुत unnecessary moment था. And for promoting what, man? I mean, it could have waited. भाई मैच के end पे कर लो ये काम, स्टूडियो में बैठा के कर लो. मैच के दौरान करने की क्या जरूरत है?
Bilkul. I mean, I might watch Barwa Khilari if I'm honest, but still, yeah, go on. I might do an audition for Armaan. You might as well. Go on.
I disagree with what you said. I think it's totally fine for them to promote Pakistani heroes, especially when the viewership will be at its highest peak during the climax or the pre-climax of a game, which it was today. What I didn't enjoy was the presentation of what they were trying to promote at that moment in time. So I'll agree to disagree with a few things, but at the same time, that segment it didn't sit well for other reasons for me.
Yes.
हाँ, लेकिन ये हमारे heroes नहीं था ना. This wasn't
Yeah,
हमारे
हमारे heroes
heroes.
नहीं
This
था,
was a
नहीं.
random thing.
It was really randomly they cut to Zainab on the pitch with the. Even she was like watching the cricket. You know, even she was like, "Hey, we hit a 4. Hey, we hit a 6." So she wasn't really concentrating on promotion. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, just one of my pet peeves. Let's talk about that second match. Now, 198 is a huge score. Sarfraz played a beautiful innings, and what I really liked was on commentary. I think it was David Gower who was talking about why this was such a good innings. He didn't play any silly, like crazy shots. He wasn't getting lucky. Like all of these talents that we love, people like Heather Ali, Hussain Talad, Suhaib Maqsood. They play some, across the line hoiks. They play some agricultural cricket, and that's fine. Sometimes that's necessary. But Sarfraz's innings was a class innings. It was real demonstration of what skill you can achieve on a cricket pitch. Anam, what do you think?
भाई absolutely और also जो पिछले मैच में हो चुका था I think Sarfraz needed something to redeem himself again as well apart from being a captain obviously batting maybe when you score obviously it gives you a lot of confidence and you're high on confidence वो confidence आपकी captaincy में भी जाता है so it was a pure example of Sarfraz giving himself the confidence to lead his team by example and this is what captains do they lead by example Sarfraz had the perfect opportunity to lead his team by example. यहाँ पे I'll add to what Armaan said earlier about Sarfraz. I know we need to add on it a little more later as well. लेकिन I agree कि जब शनवारी वाला moment हुआ it was really great. But later on वो अपने bowlers के ऊपर इतना pressure डाल देता है and we saw throughout the match कि शनवारी के ऊपर he was always on his head even Hasnain. But when Stein got hit everybody was like यार अब स्टेन को भी जाके लेक्चर करो even I had the same thoughts कि यार उसने भी 3 छक्के खा लिए 4 खा लिए उसको भी जाके बोलो कि मेरी बात सुनो क्या कर रहे हो तुम ठीक है तो ये वही वाला हिसाब है देसी पेरेंट्स जो है वो एक फेवरेट बच्चा उसको कुछ नहीं कह रहे और बाकी पूरे बच्चों की बैंड बजाई हुई है और उसके बाद इमाम की उसको इतनी फिक्र थी उसके पास जाके उसने पूछा तुम ठीक हो और अपने बच्चों के साथ तुम क्या सलूक कर रहे हो यार तो जरा ही नहीं थोड़ा होला हाथ रखने की जरूरत है ये थोड़ा सा ज्यादा है
It's a little bit tricky, isn't it? Because it's Dale Steyn, he's got a ton of experience. It's very difficult. See, this is where your captain is you've got to have a crucial dynamic, Joe Root has talked about this as England captain, where he has to approach senior players. There was a time where Joe Root was captain, he had to talk to Alistair Cook, and that's an awkward conversation.
Yeah.
I don't know if Sarfraz would thrive in those conversations. What do you think, Armaan?
Well, look, at the end of the day, I think that was actually a problem for Sarfaraz because he can actually speak to the younger bowlers and have that dynamic. That Pakistani culture does come in terms of that hierarchy. And unfortunately, I think that's probably where they lost the game because that was the only opportunity in that chase where Sarfaraz could not really, direct his bowling because he had to rely on the senior legendary bowler that we had in the Quetta Gladiators team. And unfortunately, he just, hasn't adapted to the conditions and, clearly is not at the peak of his powers that he traditionally has been. So for me, I actually feel really bad for Sarfraz because I think he did a fantastic job for much of that innings, much improved by him as well. Lekin bas hota hai kabhi kabhar,
Some great support as well from Azam Khan, and people kept drawing attention to his weight, and again, it was very annoying. He looked really good in the field. He made some great stops at backward point. He really smashed the cover off the ball at some points. There was one that he put literally out of the stadium in Karachi. Incredible hitting from him. So there was that deftness from Sarfraz, and there was that that finesse from Sarfraz and that brutality from Azam. It was really good to see. चलो जी वो innings खत्म हुई और फिर एक बहुत अजीब नज़ारा देखने को मिला, which is the new bottoms of the Peshawar Zalmi team. Okay, now Muhammad Irfan was the first person we saw. Now it's always striking because Muhammad Irfan is nearly 7 feet tall. He's 6'11", I think, right? He anything he wears that's unusual is quite striking because he's quite a striking person in real life, But he's wearing what if you imagine skinny jeans, the cricket version of skinny jeans, but it wasn't even that. It was like so tight. It was like Spider-Man's costume where they have to spray it on him they have to sew the thing onto his legs. It didn't look like it was real. Armaan, let me come to you first because you've got a cricket team that you run. Would you let your players wear that kit?
यार अब मैं क्या कहूँ बंदा क्रिकेट खेलने आया था रैंप पे वॉक कर रहा था एक तो बंदा भी 7.5 फुट का एक गद्दू मंडी उसके इलाका है अब आके वो पाकिस्तान के लिए पीएसएल में रिप्रेजेंटेशन कर रहा है यार थोड़ी सी प्रमोशन फैशन डिजाइन की हो जाए चलो छोड़ देते हैं यार क्या करें इतना टाइट मुझे लगा तो किसी और बंदे का पहन के स्ट्रेच उस बंदे ने कर दिया है लेकिन फिर मैंने दूसरों में भी देखा उनके पास भी इतनी टाइट तो मेरे ख्याल से जल्मी जो है वो थोड़ा व्हाट दे ट्राइंग टू ब्रेक द नॉर्म एंड सेट न्यू ट्रेडिशंस के व्हाट खेल रहे हैं तो थोड़ा फैशन भी करते हैं.
Yeah, I saw a great tweet which was like, "This is not Islamic Republic of Pakistan." That's just the best thing I saw. It was very funny. Anam, what do you think? Yay or nay on the skin tight trousers?
Nay. I'm not a fan of skin tight jeans on men, especially. I mean, it's a nay for me.
There you go.
It's a massive it's a massive nay.
Definitive no from Anam Nadeem. I like the innovation and I like the fact that trying to be cool and trendy and up to date with all the latest stuff might be a step too far. Or will it be the new norm? Time will tell. If you're watching this, by the way, please comment below and just tell us if you liked it or you didn't like it. I'm trying to get as many opinions as possible. Chalo yaar, batting ki baat karte hain of Peshawar. Okay, so Quetta batted beautifully. They did really well. Oh, sorry. Wait, before we move on, there was that last over from Peshawar, which was which really did the damage, really held them back. But they were going to go 210, maybe 215. But they were held back to 198. That was some quality death bowling. I know, Armaan, you've had issues with death bowling all the way through this tournament. You must have been pleased with that last over for Peshawar.
I think with both innings, actually, we did even see Hasnain bowling pretty well at the death in the overs before the very final over. In fact, even the final over, he got a wicket, he kept it tight, they got a run out. So I think definitely we have made a sort of conscious acceptance that the death bowling has not been good enough so far. We can see the strategies of the teams coming into play, the adaptation of tactics. So I think we did move into the right direction. It sounds weird me saying that when a score of 198 has been chased, but I feel like it was a game of moments. Like in terms of the 6 balls, 3 were very good and 3 were very poor. But the fact that it's going so close does actually indicate that the bowling is improving because as we talked about earlier on today as well, some of these games have ended in the 16th, 17th over when teams have been chasing with an over to spare. So I think it's getting better.
It is. The depth is getting better. And, Hasnain, I'm sure you want to talk about this. Like, that first ball was gorgeous. And Wahab has just carted him out of the ground. Wahab is middling it. Commentators saying he's making up for his very poor bowling effort. And I want to give him a break today. I know he went for 50 runs. Let's give Wahab a break,
54.
54. Chalo. ये पूरा हो गया कसर, ठीक है? मैं चुपचाप निकलने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. इधर से चपेट backwards आई है. 2 for 54 is what Wahab went for his 4 overs. But he made up for it with a bat, in the crucial moment. He showed that experience. And then the young man, Mohammad Hasnain, has to take that last over. He's defending only 6 runs. Only 6 runs. What a ball to start with, Anam.
Dream ball. मतलब और क्या चाहिए आपको? You're hitting the stumps, cartwheel कर रही हैं stumps, and you're bang on. And especially when Wahab was in the groove, उसने जो 2 छक्के लगाए हैं Stein को, they were like mind blowing. So I think Hasnain started off on the right note, but it happens. I mean, obviously it is cricket. वो brain fade moment था. I don't know उसके हाथ से ball slip की है, due factor था क्या था, because वो बहुत unusual था कि ball उसके हाथ से skid कर गई है. But I am sure he'll gain confidence from this. This is what it's all about. The PSL is about gaining confidence to perform at the international level. So this is the right platform, Try and test करें आप अपने players को सब कुछ है. So this was great.
Absolutely. Armaan, like when that ball went sliding wide, and it went for 5 wides, right? And then you see Shafane Rutherford do the, fist bump and everything. Did you feel sympathy for Mohammad Hasnain, or did you feel anger towards him? Tell me what you felt.
No sympathy at all. I mean, the exuberance of youth, and he is a very young and experienced bowler. So for me, it was almost kind of expected. Let's not forget the match was basically over by the time that final over had begun. The fact that Hasnain actually got you back into the game, he should be, rewarded for that. We should celebrate that fact that a bowler was able to get that team back into the game. ये चीजें होती है, it was sort of a mishap. लेकिन मैं एक चीज फिर कहूँगा, the fact that he does not have full control over that ball is a very key indicator. Whether it's the due factor, whether it's you're talking about these team chasing, that this is a great visual example that everyone can understand. Yeah, our bowlers are not controlling that ball like the legends that we've had, the Waqars, the Waseems, the Shoaibs. This is a skill and an art, right? And the fact is that we just assume कि यार कोई भी bowler आ जाएगा 22 साल का, 11 साल का, 10 साल का, 5 साल का, यार वो भी आके ये कर देगा. नहीं. So these guys have to work, and for me, it was a great reminder about some of the superb legends that we've had with the white ball in the past, and the fact that we have so much work yet to do. And I hope people don't hold this against Hasnain, but the fact is, he's a growing talent, and he's not the finished article.
Absolutely. It was a very exciting couple of games now. Quetta, the only team winless so far in the PSL. How long will that go on? We don't like to see this. We like to see competitiveness, but time will tell. Guys, it's been a pleasure. As always, before we wrap up today, 2 big games tomorrow, Super Saturday in the PSL. It's Karachi Kings versus the Multan Sultans, and the afternoon game is Islamabad United versus Peshawar Zalmi. So let's have some predictions. By the way, your previous predictions, Armaan, you got 1 out of 2, right? We posted videos on our timeline. You got 1 out of 2, not bad. But Anam Nadeem, 2 out of 2, back of the net. What a performance, especially after you started. You're the Lahore Qalandars of this tournament.
यार हाँ, I'm so happy. Despite Quetta losing the match, predictions जीती हूँ तो चलो कुछ तो जीती हूँ. Consolation prize ही सही. I'm very happy. I'm over the moon. हाँ, but आज तो नींद ही नहीं आने वाली मुझे.
She picked the other team. अपनी team के बाद she went to the other team. Reverse psychology mood में थी.
That's classic. That's good journalism, unbiased. You stay calm-headed. You think with your head, not your heart. That's clever. Acha, tell me who's going to win, Karachi or Multan first? Tell me which one's going to win.
Yeah, do we still need to do this? जो टॉस जीतेगा वो जीतेगा. मुझे नहीं पता टॉस कौन जीत रहा है. Like I don't know.
Wow, Anam has come round. The Karachi curse is the dehshat of the National Stadium of Karachi curse. Armaan still doesn't believe in it. So
okay, Karachi is going to win tomorrow.
Karachi will beat Multan. Okay, you think? Yeah, and Islamabad United versus Peshawar Zalmi, who's winning that?
I'm going to root for Islamabad tomorrow.
Okay, that's good. Two very direct picks. Armaan, you don't believe in the curse. You don't think this toss is over. In fact, in support of you, I believe it was Mohammad Rizwan who, after the first match, talked about the toss not being important and the players having to execute. So Mohammad Rizwan is with you, bro. One of our best, maybe our best batsman right now is with you. Who's winning tomorrow, Karachi or Multan?
Hey, of course, Karachi. I'm a Karachi supporter. How can I pick anybody else? मैं reverse psychology में believe नहीं करता. मैं in patterns में believe नहीं करता. यार, it's a game of cricket. The skill element is the thing that will define who wins this game. And for me, inshallah, the skill will be with Karachi tomorrow. And in the other game, I'm gonna back Zalmi. I'm sticking with Zalmi. I gave them a little bit of a hard time in episode 1. Like, uske baad, since the party girl is actually one of their brand ambassadors, Mahira Khan is there. I'm liking the people that they're promoting. So yeah, let's go with Zalmi.
Yeah, it's hard not to like the Zalmi, even despite those trousers. But just to be different, I'm going to back Multan tomorrow and Islamabad United. I like both those. I had some of the best times of my life were in Islamabad. So I'm happy to back them. I've never been to Peshawar, but I hope to go one day. So, guys, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Everybody watching, please remember to subscribe on YouTube, to like on Facebook, to retweet on Twitter. और बस नहीं पूरे हो गए यही सब चीजें अगर आप कर दें आपका बहुत मेहरबानी होगी. We'll be back tomorrow with 2 more fantastic games to come. What an exciting tournament. My thanks again to Anam Nadeem and Armaan Kirmani, and I'm Aatif Nawaz saying post match chat is done.